Good fucking morning, guys.
Welcome to Uganda.
Good fucking morning, ladies.
Welcome to Uganda.
I'm not gonna ask how y'all are doing
Welcome to
today,
Uganda.
because you probably aren't doing too well.
Welcome
Back
to Uganda.
again. Some people might say it's too fast or whatever, but ultimately it's up to me. I'd rather stream than
Welcome to Uganda.
sit around doing nothing. Yeah.
Welcome to Uganda.
I don't really have anything.
Welcome to Uganda.
I don't really have anything prepared or
Welcome to Uganda.
anything I want to
Welcome
specifically
to Uganda.
address or talk about, but
Welcome to Uganda.
I know that probably some of you want me to talk about it in general, because it might be helpful. I think that most people are feeling a lot of sadness.
Welcome to Uganda.
TTS is off, by the way, and I'm also turning off sub notification there, because it's a little bit distracting. I appreciate the. First of all, I don't want any edgelords, for obvious reasons, and I see your donations. I'm not gonna be reading all of them. I might handpick a few. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are probably feeling a lot of sadness right now, and I think that a lot of people that were closer rather than a viewer to Reckful might feel not responsible, but I feel like they could feel like they could have done more, so to speak. I myself have felt that. Because I didn't talk to him for a few months, because I had other stuff going on as well, and it's hard to multitask a lot of people. But before that, I was helping him a lot with Everland stuff, in terms of advice when it came to not the game, but the equally important part, which is the investor part and stuff, and it was very important. And I tried to plant his feet on the ground, so to speak, because sometimes you see they talk such big numbers and such stuff. So I tried to put his feet on the ground, and because he had everything invested in Everland, right? And I wanted him to come out of Everland situation as a ±0, but plus the experience. I want him to think less about, how successful, objectively successful a game is in terms of sales and people playing it, and think more about the experience, and then for the next project, right? I think that part of the reason why it snowballed into darkness, Everland people probably know this more, but in my head I'm thinking, because I heard these other big investors, and he threw around these numbers, and I wanted him to go with the safe option, and then Corona hit, and I just now realized afterhand, because I haven't talked to him in a couple months. This was January, and everything becomes much harder during that time financially and stuff like that. A lot of investors see it higher risk and such, so it might have been hard for him to get funding. It might have seemed like he could fund the game himself, but it is way more expensive than you guys think to fund a game. I think that could have been one of the big things, because he really put a lot of eggs in one basket. A very, very small drop, very small drop that, you know, made the glass spill over was obviously the absolute latest with Twitter, right? I didn't feel like that's mainly the reason I didn't post anything on Twitter, is because I felt like Twitter was partly, if only like a drop, it was partly responsible, I feel like, for what happened. I don't use Twitter more than telling some people like it that I mention when I go live on Twitter. So that's mostly why I haven't, you know, I don't feel like writing on Twitter is super necessary. But yeah, I felt partly responsible because you always feel like you could have done more, but I always try to think logically about every situation, and when it comes to his situation, I think the most people could have done is to delay it more, but ultimately it was his own battle, and ultimately in these cases with people that have gone through trauma or have disorders, ultimately there is only one cure, and that's your own brain finding a coping mechanism, a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism. You see it all the time, but you don't think about it. I've seen it multiple times in real life. It's people who has gone under trauma or stress. They turn to a religion sometimes they turn to powerlifting, sometimes they turn to you know, stones with energies, and you see it all the time, but you don't think about it. And the only thing that can come to this conclusion is Reckful's own brain. No one can tell you what to do, right? It's kind of like this might sound silly, but it's kind of like Inception. He needs to come to the conclusion by himself, otherwise it's not gonna help. You can. That's what I try to do with Reckful, is that I try to plant. Sounds so stupid, but I try to give subtle hints and make him come up to conclusions when he felt done. That he would just like, oh, so if I do this, probably then I will, you know, get this in return, you know. And it works for stalling, and in these situations with people with Reckful's background and other traumas, it's a race against the clock. And to find this thing that turns your depression into a passion or whatever, right? It's a race against the clock. And unfortunately, I think that being in his position, being a streamer, and social media shortened that time that he had remaining to find this thing, right, in time. Because he had money and he had fame, and that's what a lot of people, you know, like they want. So then what, you know? That's why he one time said, you know, being poor is fun, which did offend a lot of people, but it is not completely out of the blue untrue. It's easier. The smaller things make you happier than if you already have most things. So it was a race against the clock for him, and I think that people who feel responsible or could have done more, they could have maybe delayed, but ultimately it was up to him, and he was in an unfortunate situation to begin with, having the trauma and already having success. So it's hard to create even further success if that's what you want, or find this passion of yours. I feel like it's hard, like therapy, some people might say therapy, but therapy I think is very hit or miss. I never gone to therapy myself, but logically it's very hit or miss, because first of all, this person, whoever the therapist is, turn up music. Alright, I'll turn up the music. Whoever this therapist is, he has to understand and know the person, and it's not easy to truly understand or read a person through a few sessions or 10 sessions or whatever. It's kind of like a New Year's Eve resolution, going to the gym. You know, it works for some people and they stay fit and they become really strong and power builders, you know, years later. But for a lot of people, they just go and they're like, whatever, this isn't for me, you know. So it's very, very hit or miss with therapy, and that's why ultimately it's only his own brain that can come to this conclusion, and it wasn't in time. But I feel like people shouldn't blame themselves, no matter who. No matter if you had bad history with Reckful or whatever, because this wasn't decided by that or anything even remotely close. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else really to say about the situation. Yeah. And also I feel like I don't I saw some of your Twitter comments. I know they come from a good place. Things like you don't have to stream or stay strong or do this, you know. And I can only assume that other streamers are getting the same messages, but for me it doesn't matter because I know what's best for me. But other streamers might see it like, oh, if I don't react this way, or if I don't react that way, or if I stream, or if I don't stream, I will be judged or whatnot, you know. So sometimes it's better to just not tell people kind of what to do, if you know what I mean. I know it comes from a good place, but it can be, I know it can be stressful, even more stressful for other streamers that you're saying this to, you know. But yeah, I see some donations. Thank you for consistency and dedication to the stream. It feels good to know that there is always someone to watch and a chat to spam in. dankHug. Well, that's on you guys, really. I don't do much but click start streaming and stop streaming. Sal HS Donut says, you and Reckful were my favorite duo on Twitch. So many funny memories. I know everyone's been telling you already, but don't blame yourself. You're a good friend. Talking about it with friends has made it easier for me. Hope you and Nina are okay. Yeah, we are. We're fine. I went to the gym today too. It was relieving, relaxing, whichever. Keeping up routine. I said this before, but keeping up routine is probably the best thing you can do if you are feeling down. Keeping up whatever routine you had before makes it so it doesn't spiral the opposite way. I don't know. I went to the gym and I didn't sleep super much, so we'll see how long I have energy for. But I do have a coffee. Hello, BB. Yeah, the BB is tired. The BB is tired too. Offensive yet though, it says, sorry for your loss, man, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I mean, I have a more rational mindset than other people, I would like to think, and some people might blame themselves more than I do, even if they weren't as close to Reckful, you know. It doesn't matter. It's just about what's in your head. But yeah, I have been blessed with a strong mindset. It might come off as a bit of I don't know what I want to call it sometimes, but I like it more than I hate it, if that makes sense. A lack of empathy maybe sometimes, but it's just that, yeah. Hana Detective Donut says, hi Seb, my beehive heard about what happened. Every single bee I know is sorry for your loss. Keep your head up, bees love you, don't blame yourself. Try to have a good stream. Yeah, we'll be just doing the normal shit, you know, continuing with whatever. But it's gonna be rough, and for people in general, and I know a lot of people like my and Reckful's streams together. I liked Reckful because he wasn't a bullshitter. There she goes. He wasn't a bullshitter, although good or bad, it could be very annoying sometimes, but that's just how it is. But it was very pleasant, like it has pros and cons, that he really said what he thought. I don't think I didn't agree with him. I didn't agree with him saying what he thought publicly all the time on the internet. It's one of the things that I told him to probably tune down on, because of how people are with anonymous and shit. We had this before. Anonymity. There we go. I had to collect my thoughts. But yeah, it can be very toxic, And Reckful was pretty much the opposite of me. The more I think about it, he always cared what the one guy in chat said, you know, and you couldn't tell him stop caring about what people say, ignore them. It didn't work. It just didn't work for him. It literally didn't work. It doesn't work for most people actually, but especially in his case, it doesn't work. But yeah, I've seen some VODs being run. I didn't watch much, but I saw a little bit of the first Spain stream VOD. I didn't get to watch the legendary moment, of course, missed that. But it was funnier than I remember it as a streamer, like watching it a bit. From a viewer perspective, it was more funny than it was for me. The fucking random tricycle kid with the Mario music blasting out of it, like that was so random. I didn't even remember that. That was so fucking random. I don't know if you saw that. The little fake goods sellers not asking to be filmed because they were selling fake Gucci and shit. Fuse Donut Stream says, thank you for your words. I will never forget the Spanish streams. Great times, man. Yeah, it was good stuff. Tatsu Donut says, thank you for being who you are and do what you do. I try. I have the immense luxury of not worrying about streaming and really caring about what happens to the stream, and not many streamers has that luxury, and they are constantly worried about it. No, it's not about how much money you have. It's like there's a lot of streamers with a lot more money than me who are fighting anxiety with streaming, you know, probably. It's more about the mindset of how you treat your stream. Is it a job? Is it a hobby? Was it a hobby that turned into a job, into a hobby, into a job again? You know, is it something in between? So, you know, like I said this, I'm not, if I get permaban whenever, you know, on to the next thing. And I'm already doing other things, you know. I don't like to really talk about private life and stuff, you know that already, because people become too fanatic sometimes about a streamer, and it should really be about the entertainment on stream, and when that's done, you know. You felt better, that's cool, but after that it's like there's some people that just goes too ham on streamers' personal lives, and that's why I didn't want Reckful to be talking so much about his personal life all the time, but it was hard to convince him, pretty much. Arctic Knob donates and says, have you seen memorial page with almost 15,000 messages in memory of Byron? I'm guessing this is safe. Is someone moderating this, by the way? I'm gonna assume someone is moderating this, because I don't wanna... This is being moderated before they can send the message? Alright. That's cool. Yeah, I feel the most for his parents though. This maybe would be nice for them. I don't know them personally, so I don't know how they would react. But whatever. Yeah, that's nice of whoever made that. No Last Chance donates. I have been watching you since 2013. That's weird, considering I didn't stream then. Never asked you to do anything. Knowing that you do what you enjoy was enough, and I hope you continue to do that for as long as you're here for us. Maybe he watched me being a washed up StarCraft pro. Maybe that's it's possible he watched me in tournaments or whatever. Alright, yeah. I appreciate that the most when I don't get asked to do things. I like doing what I want to do. Ancient Buy. Prehistoric Buy. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to add about the situation. I'm not sure if I forgot something, but yeah, I'm not watching the I'm not watching the VODs on my stream, but I encourage people who wants to see them to go to, I think they were replaying on his channel. Were you and Byron as close as people made you to out to be? There were definitely people that were closer to Reckful. I think he really I think he appreciated my unbiased advice, so to speak. He would often come to me. I tried to reach the top of or Twitter DMs. I couldn't do it and scrolled for like 30 minutes. Wait, my headset died. He would often ask me about anything and everything, not just when he was down. Sorry, fixing my headset. Alright. And obviously we are both grown-ups, living on, two different sides of the globe, basically. So close is a relative term, but I felt like I was very helpful to him, I think, and he mentioned it a lot. So I know he talked to a lot of people, but yeah. Reckful, I don't think he knew what he wanted. I think he was searching. I think he was constantly looking for that thing that I mentioned, the so to speak, new passion or hobby or way of life, and him wanting people to move in with him, or finding a girl, or creating a successful game. He wasn't sure that either of these would help him, but he was just trying. I think his brain was trying all the different options and see which one could or would stick eventually. So he was trying. That's why he had all these. When you were watching him, he always had these ideas, right? It could be like a really fresh idea, and he was would be very energetic about it and talk about it. And I think that was his brain's way of searching for this thing that would ultimately bring him a longer lasting happiness, so to speak. So yeah, that's what I think was going on with him, and it's impossible to know what would have done it. But yeah, bipolar is not an easy thing to live with. From what I heard, I don't know myself, thank God, but from what I heard, one of the worst things, probably. He loved travel though.
Don't smash it.
Yeah, I mean, he loved meeting people, I think, more than he loved the actual travel, if I have to be honest. I don't think he would enjoy traveling alone, for sure not. So it was more about making people get away from their streams and joining up, so at least they're streaming together, you know. Corona ruined it. No, I think Reckful was very invested in Everland at the moment. I'm not gonna speculate really, but I do feel like it was the financial situation that put a lot of stress on him too. Because yeah, he might have thought that, you know, he really needed to make a lot of money from Everland, because he felt, even though other people didn't feel like this, but I think that he felt that without money, who am I, you know? That's the feeling I read from Byron. He felt that no one would like him if it weren't for his fame and money. Because he often liked to throw it around, buy a viewer and you whatever, you know, like a random viewer, you know, do weird shit like that, and people thought it was funny, right? But I do feel like that could have been a contributing factor the more I thought about it. He said Everland wasn't meant for money. He said Talbot has the skills to make a better money sync game if needed. Yeah, but you have to understand that when you put all of your money into something, or the majority, and you want it to be successful, right? You want it to be successful. The only objective measure is a lot of people playing it, right? And it goes hand in hand with the income you get from your game. It just, those two are connected. If you want a lot of people playing it, you know, the Everland devs probably know better about the financial situation. I did get informed about a lot of the stuff financially too, and he wanted my advice. I felt like he didn't. I felt like he aimed too high, and then Corona hit, which would have made it hard for funding. Because the more you work on a game, the more the more things you can see you can add on, you know, like the bigger you want your game to be, you know, the more work they put in, and it costs a lot. But yeah, I didn't see Taldar's tweet longer. No, I didn't. I don't think I follow him on Twitter. When am I making a game? I don't think that will be happening. I feel like it's without any experience in coding or programming or whatever, you're better off probably investing in a team that's already making a game. If that's what I would like, you know, being lead designer without actually knowing how making games actually work in any engine, it would just be better to invest in someone who has the passion themselves to make the game in the first place, and then you help them with the funds, right? Than telling people your point of view or how it should be. 4D roguelikes, yeah. Alright, but Keller Dweller Don says Taldar said they just secured a huge amount of funding for Everland. Oh really? That's really good. Just as in now, or as in a while ago? Alright, because Reckful was always talking about a lot of options, and sometimes it wouldn't become anything of it, and basically he asked what it is investors wants to hear, and I just gave him some pointers about he should not talk so much about the game as he should talk about himself and his history of being a really good gamer and all his experience in knowing what people want to see, even if it's not always true. You still say this to investors. You bring up that you read thousands of comments in your chat daily about what people would like to see, and you tell about your team and how successful their history is in gaming and what places they've been working on and yada yada yada. It's pretty much what you want to tell investors. More about game specifics, because a game concept can be good, but if the execution is not there, it's gonna fall to shit. But a good team will always make the best out of any game, right? So things like that in his presentation. He showed me the presentations and stuff. I mean, yeah. I'm not. Thank you for the donut, but I'm not clicking any Reddit links right now. Not watching any clips. Hampus, thank you very much. Much love. Hope you have a good stream today. Thank you, man. Anonymous Donut Stream says, have you watched what the World of Warcraft community did? Yeah, I did. I did browse the one who should not be named. I didn't click any of the links, but I saw the titles. Not Asmongold, I was talking about the Reddit. I saw the titles, but I didn't actually click any links. I just saw that what people did. Jongo, hi Sebastian, I felt bad about what happened to Reckful. I'm not into Twitch anymore, but as you said, he cared too much about the chat, and chat didn't help or took it seriously as well. That's what bothers me a lot for the last video I've seen. You can't say chat didn't, because there's a very vocal minority sometimes in chat that when it looks bad in chat, sometimes it's a very vocal minority. A lot of people aren't even typing at all. They're just reading the chat right now and thinking that's me. It's very few people actually typing in most streamers, more or less in others. And you can't really do anything as a chatter. Like, what are you supposed to do? He cares about the chat, what they're saying, but in the end, in his case, one bad, 500 good comments gets ruined by one bad one. It's like me playing chess, or me playing Minecraft. Perfect run and falling into lava, and then it's over, you know. So you cannot rely on chat or chat cannot be relied on, because there will always be the one guy that gets through and you know, ruins it what 500 people try to accomplish. So it's just the wrong mindset to have as a streamer to begin with. It is just the wrong mindset to have. Yeah, Baldman Nina is doing alright too. Tal tweeted yesterday they made huge progress with the financial problem yesterday, so the second. Alright. So that's really good for them. That's really good.
My legs to this trip. Get close again. Get close. Go. Yeah, but think about it proportionally, right? More this way. Okay. Chava, Nagila Chava, Nagila Chava, Nagila Venismecha, Chava, Nagila. He's 1/4, he has to learn. He's learning.
Your nose is always in your field of view.
Oh no, he knows. He knows. It's so funny, dude. Like, what the fuck? You want some fun? Oh my god, I want some fun. Ow.
Cringe facts out.
Oh, it's my face. Oh,
Oh my god, oh my god! You're actually walking through it?
I was gonna know.